Hey Mark, what can you tell me about reorder parameters?
Well, this is a kind of a classic refactoring. This is something as developers, at least I find myself doing this frequently. I'll be in the process of developing a method, and I'll realize, oh wait, I don't quite agree with what I've got here. I want to change the order so it's easier to call. It makes more sense. And so I've got, for example, here in the code below here, I've got a method called set direction. And inside there, I've got a ref parameter. And one of the things that I like doing is I like having my ref parameters at the very beginning, so they're very obvious. So what I'm going to do, and the method itself is called set direction. So I like to change that. Down here, you can see all the calls. There's the ref. What I really want is it at the beginning. So I'm just going to put the caret here. I'm going to hit the CodeRush key, and I'm going to choose Reorder Parameters. And this is a great moment to point out that there's no modal dialogues in any of the refactorings. So
Okay.
instead of a modal dialog, you just get this little hint window down at the bottom that says hit the left key to move the parameter left. And so I can do that, just hit the left like that. And the little animation shows you what's going to happen there. It also shows me I can hit the tab key to move the selector to select the next parameter, or I can use Shift Tab to go backwards. So if I have many parameters, I can select them this way. So I can just decide what I want to have first, second, and third, move those pieces so they make sense to me. And once I have that, I just hit enter. By the way, down here, you'll notice that we've got some errors, but that's because I haven't committed yet. If I hit enter, these will all be updated. And if I were to hit escape to cancel, then this interactive phase of reordering the parameters would be restored back to the original. But I'm going to hit enter. This is what I want to do. And so now you can see it's
Oh, there you go.
clean up all of these.
That's fantastic.
I just want to take this so you can see all of this here on one line. I'm going to just take this, bring this out over here. And we're going to do it one more time. And so now you can see I've got some problems. I've got X and Y, and they're not in the right order. I've got out parameters. I've got two out parameters and a third out parameter here. I really want all my out parameters together. I want it to be X, Y first. I'm going to do the same thing again here. In fact, what we'll do is we'll just kind of come down here and we'll put these on 3 lines so you can see this here. It shows you how flexible this is. Come in here, choose reorder parameters. We're just moving left, 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 and tab, tab, tab to get the Y, left, left to put it there. And I think I'm good. Hit enter, and now I've updated all the calls to those as well. It's incredibly fast, I should point out, right? By eliminating the modal dialogue, it doesn't block your code, and it's the most efficient, fastest way, the fewest keystrokes, right? Your eyes are right there on the code where they should be, not moving away from the code. The fastest way to reorder parameters possible.
I'd also like to point out that, I mean, this is great for legacy code bases that you're trying to clean up, trying to make more readable, more sensible. As you indicated before, very often the method name implies the logical ordering of the parameters. And if you can make the parameter sequence reflect the name of the parameter, it's so much quicker to use. It's so much easier to come across. Further, without a tool like this, there are some cases where you would just never do this, okay? If you had a situation where you had, maybe that second method there had X and Y initially written the other way around, you would never manually try to fix that with like maybe 20, 30, or 100 calls, because they're both exactly the same type of parameter. And if you miss one of those calls, you've just introduced a bug. What
Yeah.
CodeRush is going to do is going to take every one of those calls and reorder it exactly the way you're instructing the main signature to be reordered. There's going to be no mistakes here. There's no manual possibility of you introducing a flaw here. You'd never consider doing that manually, but with a tool like this, it's just a non-thought at all. You just go for it. Make it the way it should be.
Yeah, that's the whole point behind a lot of what the refactorings in CodeRush is to make small changes effortless. So now what happens is it's not, normally when a change has expense associated with it, like in the old days before tools, we had extract method, right? And
Yeah.
when you saw code that needed an extraction of a method block inside of it, a lot of times in the old days, you'd weigh the value that you'd get against the cost. And the
Yeah.
cost was just too prohibitive. And because you have it takes a lot of time, it has a chance of introducing human error, risk of breaking code, all of that. And so
Yep.
that's the whole point about using a tool like CodeRush, is that you can very, very quickly make changes at an incredibly low cost. And as a result, now you're just simply looking at code and you're thinking, is that going to be a little bit better if I make the change? And if the answer is yes, you just make the change. So you can
That's
make
it.
very small incremental changes with a minimal effort.
Yeah. And step by step, your code improves, and there's just no effort involved.
Yeah.
Great stuff, Mark. Thanks very much.